Alright you lot, so I've been playing around with this little water pump down here. It's a little two-stroke water pump. It was given to me to try and get working. I've been playing around with it. It kind of runs, but it kind of doesn't. So I've already filmed some of that, but what I'm going to have to do, because it started running really lean towards the end of what I was filming before. So I may have to do two videos on this, and we'll see how it goes. It may be a part 1 and a part 2. What I'm about to do may be in the part 2, and this is obviously going to be part 1. So, but you'll see how it goes. But it does run a bit rubbish towards the end of it, but it pumps anyway. You'll see just about after I've got it going. So I'm going to take the carburetor off now and give it a clean. Try and get it to run a bit better. So while I'm doing that, you lot can watch from the very beginning. You lot can watch what I'm doing while I'm cleaning this carb out. And once I've cleaned the carb out, we may come back to me, or it may be a part 2. We'll see what happens. But anyway, enjoy that bit, and we'll see how it goes. The more the summer starts to roll in, I'm going to be getting lawnmowers. I'm going to be getting more petrol things coming in, fixing. This pump's the first thing. That pump down there is the first thing this summer, or this starting summer, that I've had. So the more the summer rolls in, the more we're going to be getting. Alright then you lot. As always, I've got an overcrowded bench, but on the bench today is this strange little two-stroke water pump thing I've been given to try and... Oh, it's very windy out there today, you had the door slam. I've been given this to try and get it to go. It's found in an old barn somewhere a long while ago, and then sat in a shed for another long time. And yeah, I was given it to try and get it going. Hopefully it will go, because otherwise if it don't go, it's going in the bin apparently, so we don't want it to go in the bin, do we? It looks like it's obviously two-stroke. Although it tells you, it's not in English, is it? Yeah, it's in different languages. Use mixture 25:1, which is 4% oil. It's got some in it, probably ain't any good. Whatever model, whatever make that is what it is. Electronic ignition. Oh, that might be handy then. Hopefully we'll have a spark. Yeah. S50. So we've got our fuel on and off. It's on. We have got some in here. Let's just open it. Yeah. Doesn't smell that old. Well, I know it's old, but it doesn't smell that bad. So let's have a look to see what we've got. Hopefully it'll just fire up. Whether the pump works will be a different story though. The engine might work, but the pump might be no good. We don't know. Luckily I've got all this pipe, so I'll be able to test it, and I might be able to pump out a load of that standing water that's gathered up outside. Anyway, let's get going. Right, I've put it down on the floor here because it's a little bit better to work on. It's annoying on the bench. It's a very small bench. I need a bigger bench really, but there we go. So what we got, it's probably reasonably old. You got this old type carburetor here with the choke there. It's actually loose on there, so that has to be tightened up. Looks like we've got the throttle here. Is it a screw-on air filter? The carb is actually loose. Oh look, it just comes straight off. So whether someone's had that off, oh, at least we've got petrol coming through there. Look, I wonder if somebody's had that off in the past to try and fix it, but has realised it's not fixable perhaps, or something's wrong with it. Let me go and get a spanner. I'll tighten that up, because before I mess around with it I want to see if it works. So let me go and get a spanner. I'll tighten that bolt up, and then we'll give it a few pulls and see if it's going to fire up. Alright, that's nice and tight on there now. We know we've got petrol coming through. That would, I would imagine, be choke on. I don't know how to take this air filter off in order to have a look. There we go. It's not really an air filter, is it? Alright, that's choke off. That's choke on. That's choke on there. That's choke off. So, where's the pull start? On the other side, typically. Let's see what happens then. Don't know where the on and off switch is. Assuming that there is one, we'll just put that all the way down. I think it's going to make a racket if it does go. Spray a little bit of encouragement in there. It's just an engine degreaser, but it's flammable enough. I usually use it and it gets things going. Oh. We did have a little bit of a fireage. No, nothing there. Don't think we got an on and off switch. Oh yeah, little stop switch is down here, but it's out, so maybe we haven't got a spark. Let's go and get a spanner and see if we've got any spark. Absolutely typical that it's going to be a size in between both the sizes that you've got, isn't it? Absolutely typical. Smells a little bit, I think there's some action in there. It smells freshly burned. Can you hear all that wind outside? Cool, you must have heard that one. That was a big gust. Right, let's try and put this in a position where you can see it. There we go. Hopefully that'll... There we go. Right. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. That's a lovely spark in there. Look at that. Nice blue one. That's a nice blue spark. So we have got sparks. So really then it should be firing when I stick the old flammable stuff in there. I'll stick a bit down here, shall I? I haven't got any could have sticked a bit of petrol down there really, but that was a big gust of wind, that was. Right, let's see what's going to happen now. Hopefully we'll have a bit of go-go. Oh yes, we had a bit then, didn't we? It wants to go. Oh yeah, that wants to go, right, doesn't it? Just see if I can. Keep spraying it in there. Hopefully it might suck a bit through. Nearly. Right, let's have a look. See what we've got. Must be a bit of a block in here. It's quite dirty. I haven't got any, I'd usually use a bit of brake cleaner. I've got engine degreaser. It's not perfect, but it'll give it a bit of a degrease. And I've got a brush somewhere. I've got this little plastic brush, come in handy sometimes. Bit of a brush around on the outside. The wind's really kicking up out there now. Sounds like things are getting blown over. I've got a few things out on the washing line. Right. So let's take the bowl off, see what's going on in the bowl. Got a little bit of sediment in the bottom of there. I wonder if the needle's going up and down though. Yeah, the needle's going up and down alright. Needle goes up and down alright. There's our throttle, look. Rev it up. It'd be quite a nice little pump actually if it worked. I'm assuming that's some kind of diaphragm in there, I would think. So obviously a little bit of a mixture screw. So we take that out. I don't know where that's supposed to be set though. I'll leave that in for the time being. I'll leave that in there for a minute. Got a jet here though. I'll leave the other one in there for a minute because what my luck would be, I'd forget how many turns it has to be. That looks alright in there. Spray a bit of degreaser in there. Get the old brush in there. Leave that in there to soak for a minute. We'll leave that in there like that, soak for a minute, and see what happens. Alright then, you lot. It's been a little while now. I've just nipped indoors. I had to empty the memory card. The old memory card in the camera was full up because I've just been out this morning playing with the nitro cars. Got quite a lot of footage this morning to go on the other channel. So what have we got in here? Oh yeah, this has been soaking. Get a little brush in there, get some of that out. A wire brush will be a bit better for this, but never mind. I'll just chuck that out down there on the floor. I've got some compressed air as well. I might give it a blowout. There's a wire brush. I wonder if a wire brush would do a bit of a better job getting all that out of there. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. Don't want to get too much of that on that little rubber seal there. Luckily that's staying in there. Anyway, so let's see if we can get this needle out of here. It might be jammed in now, I don't know. Maybe that little screwdriver will be able to push that through perhaps. Let's have a look, shall we? This little pick here might do the job. I found this on the floor many years back. I'll never forget, I was walking around, I was at work and I just see this little pick on the floor and I thought, ah, that is a brilliant thing to have. I'll have that. So I picked it up. So it might not come out all the way. Need a pair of pliers. Little pair of needle nose pliers there, or long nose pliers, depending where you're from. Needle nose if you're American. There's our float, plastic float. That's our needle valve. That seems alright, that's not very bad. That goes in and out alright as well, doesn't it? Yeah, that's lovely. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That goes in and out there perfectly. So I've got no reason to suspect any of that, I don't think. Can we blow through there? Can you hear that? I'm blowing through there, lovely. So that is working. What I've got to do is, yep, that's attached. Then we've got to get that little needle, that little pin back in there. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes. They're not the best things to be playing with sometimes. Might be better off putting a little bit of oil on it. And putting it in from the other direction perhaps. I'll turn it around and put it through that way. There we go. And just put that on there like that. Lovely. So that's on there. Hopefully, I don't know whether that's going to be visible or not. You can see the little needle valve going up and down in there now. So if I blow through it when this is up, it shouldn't be able to blow. When I let go, it should be able to blow. Yep, that's operating wonderfully. So I've no reason to suspect, no reason to take any of that apart. We should be good. Got to put that little jet back in there. And then we'll put it back together. We'll put the bowl back on and put it back together and see what happens there, my friends. I know it's going to run, but will it run? I know the engine's good itself, because that ran pretty well, didn't it? I'm not gonna, in case any of you are thinking, by the way, no, I'm not gonna have it running too long without any water in that pump. I just want to make sure the engine's all right, and then I'll put the sucker hose in a barrel of water. Right, let's go and put this back on the engine. Right, so I'm not quite happy with the way this petrol's just dribbling out really slowly here, so I'm going to take the tank off and have a look. I thought you lot might find this funny. Obviously someone's taken that off, the bolt's probably fallen off and they've only got a long one, so they've packed out a load of washers. I love finding out little things, what people have done to things. Right. Now this only just dribbles out of here, look at this, this is off. This should be a nice constant. I put a new bit of pipe on it, by the way. That's the old bit of pipe, it's gone rock hard. It's no good. So I put a new bit of fuel line on there, petrol line. So that's off. If I turn it on, that should be a nice flow like a tap. But that's what we got. And even if we take the cap off, we don't really get any better. Should be a nice flow. So I reckon I've got a little bit of a blockage in there. Let's see what we can find. You should just unscrew, providing it ain't at it. That should just unscrew and we should be able to. I know it might have a little filter on the end of it perhaps. Hopefully it's got a little filter on the end of it. Ah yeah, it has got a little filter. Let's got a little filter on the end. Let me take the little filter off. Should be able to. Doesn't look particularly blocked though, so maybe the tap itself has had it. Might be able to blow down it. Yeah, that ain't a good sign. A little bit of air. Oh. Nah. Maybe that's had it then. Right then, so what I've done, I took this tap apart, you just undo that little bolt there, and it comes apart. And now, if I blow on it, so there we go. That hopefully has fixed that. There's my little filter. That can screw back in there like that. There we go. And then we'll put that back in there. Stick that in there. Turn that. And just screw it back in. I put a bit of fresh petrol back in there. And yeah, hopefully we're ready to rock and roll. Right, so I put it all back together. I give all the carb a good blowout with some compressed air, blow all the jets out, done everything. I put this back on, put a little bit of kind of fresh petrol in there. It's about 5 months old, 5-6 months old. I've had it in the can for a while. So let's see what we get. I'm going to put the choke all the way on, a little bit of throttle, and see what we end up getting. Be a little bit lean, perhaps. It runs though, didn't it? It runs pretty well. Don't like running without the choke on though, does it? Might have to prime this. Not really sure. Oh, you get this pump working, yeah? Hold on. Right then, I haven't filmed so much because my hands are all dirty and I'm running out of gloves. But I can't get it to pump, so I took these off, that one on that side, and it's full of like white jelly. So some kind of, I don't know if it's corrosion or, I've got a funny feeling this might have sucked up some jelly stuff. I'm not sure what it could be. The problem is when you're dealing with pumps, you don't know what they've sucked up. Could have sucked up anything. And there's a lot of white jelly stuff in here, so I've sprayed it with a bit of degreaser. I'm going to rub it around with a wire brush, try and clear all those little holes out in there. I've cleared these out, little springs in there. I don't know, to tell you the truth, whether this is a self-priming pump or not. I'm not really sure. There's a little, looks like an air fitting on there. I've got a funny feeling you're meant to push that in to let the air out, maybe. There's a little diaphragm here, obviously. It kind of goes in there. So I'm just going to clear all this out, and we'll try it again, see if I can get it to pump. But if I blow air through these and that one, that blows air out the suction hose. So it's obviously got something to do with this. This is obviously, I'm wondering if this is blocked as well. So I'm going to take that apart and see what happens with that. Yeah. It's running all of a sudden really lean. I think it sucked something up. But I got it to pump. It pumps now. It won't run with the choke off, which is another indication that it's running lean. So only runs with the choke on, but it does run and it pumps. So we're good. I'm pleased with that. I had to cut a little bit of hose off because it had a hole in it. But it does pump. Sweet. Well, I've just taken it apart. I've blown all the jets out with the compressed air. You know, everything looks clear to me. Nothing seems to be blocked. I can't find anything. I can't find any air leaks. I can't really find anything that's wrong. So we'll see how it runs now. I'll see if it will start, because before it wouldn't start unless you spray a bit of flammable stuff in it, and I was using this engine jig greaser. It's not good to keep starting stuff with a bit of spray, but that's what I was doing anyway. So we'll see if it starts on the choke without that, and if not, we'll see if we'll try and get it to start with it, and then we'll just see how it runs. But it was definitely running well too lean before. It needs to be richened out, but even if you richen the screw right out, it still didn't fix it. So let's see how it goes now. Give that a little bit of a shake. Make sure that all that oil's mixed up with the petrol in there. And let's go. Now this is without any spray. This is just on the choke. Normal. Get me cloth because that pull start hurts. Nah, ain't gonna go, is it? I think it's going to be doing the same thing again. A little bit better. Maybe it's not. I thought it was a little bit better. It's a little bit better. If I turn the choke off, I bet it will. it's a bit erratic, isn't it? I've got an idea. The petrol was in here is a bit of a mixture of everything, so I'm going to put some really properly fresh petrol in there and see what happens after that. So it's running a hell of a lot better than it was. That petrol over there weren't really petrol, it was a mixture of petrol, 2-stroke oil, a little bit of nitro. So it weren't the best, that was making it run how it was running. But now with a bit of petrol in it, it's running a lot better. But it doesn't like having the choke taken off. You take the choke off, it just runs really lean and then dies. There's obviously something wrong there somewhere. But it pumps. And it runs really well on the choke. And if you have it about a quarter choke, no sorry, 3/4 choke, then it runs really well as well. Anything after that and it just starts to get lean. So it's definitely something that needs to be looked at. But for a little pump that just kind of pumps a bit of water, I wouldn't say that was a major problem. I'd say that was pretty good. So at least it's running reasonably well now anyway. I'd say that's probably as far as this is going to go on this now. I don't know what the deal is with it. I don't know whether it's going to be sold or whether it's going to be kept and used. If it's going to be sold, it probably needs to be sorted out properly. It needs to be really sorted out. But if it's just going to be kept and used, it's not mine, is it? I told you, it's given to me by a friend in order to get working. But it runs. That was the mission. The mission was to get it running and to get it pumping, and that's what I did. I got it running and I got it pumping. So I reckon there's either an air leak, it's either sucking in air somewhere else on the engine, or that carb's still got a blockage. Because if you open up the needle, if you open up the air fuel screw all the way, it still runs lean off the choke. So there's sucking in air somewhere, or there's not enough fuel getting in. One of them jets is blocked. But you know, it runs and it pumps. So that was the mission. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all your support, and we'll get more videos coming out as the summer rolls in. By the way, as the summer starts to roll in, I'll be getting more lawnmowers and more things like that, lawnmowers and just anything petrol related probably coming in. So thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.